Let's bring Patrick Keane back, our friend at the Action Network. We got Joe. Once again, we're doing NASCAR, and we're doing Scott. We're doing golf, and I'll throw 2 cents in before I turn it over to you, Patrick. I think golf can benefit immensely from live in-game on-course betting, drive engagement, get younger fans. But Patrick, I'll let you take it away there and see what they have to say. Go ahead.
We couldn't agree more, Scott. And I feel like I should be on the Sportico payroll. You're making me doing 2 of these. I feel like I'm like in a double header right now.
Noted and rejected, but thank you anyway, Patrick.
And these guys are so competent and thoughtful. I didn't even prep them at all. I didn't even contact them. Warfield texted me about 10 minutes ago. Joe, nice to meet you. It proves my ultimate confidence in you, and I'm sure this is going to be a great panel. You guys have both been present, past, and future partners of the Action Network. So we thank you for that and want to talk a little bit about your partnerships across your sports books and content and how you think about those and how you measure success and how you measure fan engagement. So I'll start with sort of a broad generalization targeted to Scott, who's been a great partner with us at Action Network and point in the PGA Tour Golf Bet. Tell us a little bit about what you think the state of golf bet is and what you think the state of fan engagement around sports betting is today.
Yeah, PK, thanks for having us. Look, we think about sports betting in general as an engagement tool. I know that sounds like a Sportico cliche or a conference cliche, but it truly, if we do it right, over the next decade, we're going to see higher engagement. We're going to see more viewership. We're going to see more attendance at our events. So for us, it all starts through that lens. And because of that and where the PGA Tour is relative to maybe the big 3 in terms of handle size, we try and get pretty progressive in terms of how we think about content. So the first thing that the Tour did in this space after an integrity partnership and some responsible gaming initiatives was partner with Action Network and develop the Golf Bet brand to really help generate that content, help entertain fans, help educate them. I think you said it earlier on one of your other 6 or 7 panels that you've been on today, is that a lot of people don't understand minus 150. They don't understand how to do head-to-head against in a golf necessarily, bet hole by hole. So what we're trying to do is educate, and the leader in the space has been Action Network and what Patrick and the team has built. And it also provides us with this really unique arm's length distance to this content that right now we're not ready to lean all the way in on across our own platform. So the development of this separate brand has just been tremendous and something we continue to think about on a daily basis.
That's great to hear. Thanks, Scott. Same question for you, Joe. How are you guys thinking about your future partnerships around the sports betting category, whether it's data or content or books or really anything? How does the NASCAR brand extend itself? And I'm sure you'd echo Scott's opinions. You'd all like to see NASCAR handle grow and become a more vital part of the betting general ecosystem. But talk to me about your partnerships again across data and content and books.
Sure. Well, I wish that we could find a good synonym for engagement, because I think that's the key word that we're all trying to get at here, and especially at NASCAR. But education is another good aspect of it, especially with NASCAR betting historically being more of a pre-race product, with in-race betting being introduced relatively recently. We're trying to figure out how to educate our fans, the best way to educate our fans, in a partnership with the Action Network and others. How do we introduce that new concept of in-race betting to our NASCAR fans who also like to bet on the sport? In terms of our partnerships, we have all of our ducks in the row in terms of the right players working with us from a data standpoint. We have our partnership with Genius Sports. From an integrity standpoint, which is of utmost importance to NASCAR, we have Sport Radar as our partner there. For international streaming, getting NASCAR in front of a live stream of NASCAR in front of an international betting audience, we have IMG. And from a responsible gaming standpoint, another utmost important part for NASCAR with the American Gaming Association, as I mentioned, our partnership with Action Network as well, getting betting focused content out there to the sports fans and also the NASCAR fans as well.
That's great. Another question we had on one of my earlier discussions was around a notion of bet casting or game casting or alternative broadcasts. We've done some with the PGA Tour as the sport returned, which we were incredibly excited about with Sobel and Darren Ravel, which I think was well received, and our partners at the tour seem to believe so. And you guys have done continued ones with NBC. Talk to me, each of you, a little bit about whether it's a bet cast or a race cast. What is that in-game viewership kind of secondary screen experience that you think might be the future?
Sure. So
yeah, I can go ahead, Joe.
Okay. So for NASCAR, one thing that we're very cognizant of is not oversaturating our fans. I know it was mentioned earlier in another panel as well of not pushing betting too hard on our fans who may not be interested in betting, right, and not pushing that too aggressively. But at the same time, there are opportunities with our broadcast partners. Obviously, with Fox and NBC, they have their own sports betting partnerships that can leverage and integrate those odds feeds into their broadcasts. And there's also other broadcast mechanisms and second screen mechanisms that NASCAR can utilize, whether that's feeds from a driver car or even from a pit crew. There are a lot of opportunities that we're exploring as in-race odds become more prevalent and become more common in the parlance of race betting that we're looking at integrating to maybe not oversaturate our traditional fans who might be watching on our broadcast partners, but on a second screen where we know that they're watching for betting content that we can introduce from a different perspective and a different angle.
Yeah, and look, Patrick, I'd just add, Joe hit it. It's making sure we're not force feeding this content down the throats of people that aren't looking for it. So what was the beauty of the bet cast that we did with PointsBet and NBC on Peacock was that was on a OTT platform where we had to direct people. If you had to be looking for it. All of the odds that are on our platform are one click away. You have to actually go in and select odds to see it. Otherwise, you won't be served those. So, we're trying to, we say crawl, walk, run with our content approach, but at the same time, innovate the space. I truly believe that the golf, because of the amount of content, because of the pace of play, it lends itself absolutely perfectly to in-play betting. And that's, why we're investing so much time and energy in our partnership with IMG Arena to build the in-play product that Sarah talked about a little bit earlier. It's why we lean on our 5 OBOs and DraftKings and FanDuel and PointsBet and MGM and Score. It's why, again, we love the Action Network content and partnership. So, today's world of the fragmented media landscape, sometimes people say it's fragmented. To me, it's opportunities here to be very targeted in where we put this content and in front of whom.
Got it. I'm going to go back in time to my early days in the internet in the mid to late 90s when everyone started to build their own websites, whether you're the NFL or the Major League Baseball or the NBA or PGA Tour or really any rights holder. Totally important, smart. Again, gets back to that word we're trying to find a new one for: fan engagement and building databases and becoming a consumer marketer and a direct consumer brand versus just a rights holder. You guys obviously are rights holders as well as media brands. You have your rights partners, as you mentioned, with Fox or Golf Channel or NBC or ESPN and CBS, obviously in the PGA Tour side. And you guys are, and it's going to sound pejorative, it's not meant to be, you guys are as good as they are in the world in manual extraction of dollars from partners, do a very good job of that. Does the betting industry as sort of I won't say a new pound of flesh, I'll say it more as a new revenue opportunity, do you sometimes conflict with your existing media and rights partners that also have pretty aggressive ambitions in the space as well, either digitally or terrestrial or really any streaming venue, et cetera? Is there some tension there? Curious as you kind of think about how you each want to benefit and drive value in the sports betting landscape as much as they do.
I'll take it first. I mean, I think over time that, Patrick, I think we'll see more of that. Right now, to me, there has been nothing but alignment because I think a lot of our broadcast partners see the value of in play, what that can mean from an engagement standpoint, what that can mean from driving the core fan to watch another 15 or 30 or 45 minutes of a golf match that maybe in the middle of the round would be where you went out and mowed the lawn. I think there's alignment in the objective of we're going to use this to grow the pie. There's only so many ways a 22-year-old today. I teach a class at Wake Forest and have a bunch of students that tell me it all the time. Like they're not sitting down necessarily and watching, a 4-hour game, but they may come in for a 6-hole player versus player, $5 bet. And you can imagine what that will mean for Nielsen ratings and quarter hours and media deals. So as long as objectives are aligned, which right now I think they have been, it's been a pretty symbiotic relationship.
How about for you
guys?
guys?
I think Scott hit it right on the head. I think as opposed to conflict, there's been alignment from our perspective here at NASCAR. With our 3 authorized gaming operator partners, we've had organic reach out from their side to partner with some of our other official non-betting partners, as well as reach out from our official non-betting partners to partner with our AGOs because they are serving a completely different audience, and there's value for a big official brand to get in front of a Penn, a Wynn, or an MGM, and vice versa. So, as such, thus far, we've seen alignment, we've seen opportunity from both of those sides. And we hope to continue to see that.
So I'm a avid golf bettor. I've also never put a tee in the ground without there being some action on it. So that to me is one I'm very familiar with. And obviously I know NASCAR well, but Joe, walk us through like some of the typical bets that you see in NASCAR and how NASCAR fans typically bet and ways to sort of think about betting with the NASCAR perspective.
Sure. So as I said, prior to this year, really, it was pretty stale in terms of a pre-race offering. It was outrights, your typical race winner, top 3, top 5. We're seeing this year, especially since our Super Bowl, the Daytona 500, the integration of in-race markets that operators are offering, and we're seeing those 3, 5 pre-race markets turn into 20, 25, in some cases 47 to 50 in-race markets that are being offered. And those could be things like who will win the next lap, who will win the next stage. But some of the most engaging markets that we've seen in the past couple of months in the 2021 season have been those head-to-head markets. So there's a lot of course, with NASCAR, a lot of head-to-head intrigue between drivers. So if there's a conflict the week before, or there's just something prescient about this week's matchup between 2 drivers based on the result of last week, that head-to-head market and promoting those markets and promoting whatever conflict is driving the interest in those markets has been probably the most successful market we've seen from an in-race perspective this year so far.
Great. So, with respect to your talent, I'm not sure as much on the NASCAR side, but I have some familiarity with the Tour. I mean, the Tour talent, if you will, are independent contractors and they're under the governance of the PGA Tour and everything else that you do. How do you think about, and I know you can't speak for them, but generally how talent approaches sports betting? I mean, Bryson did his deal with DraftKings. I think I saw, I forget who it was, who has a monkey knife fight deal. He always is leading in the first round of the Masters. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name, his beautiful long blonde locks. Anyway, do you guys think about how you govern or how talent thinks about sports betting, either as a partner opportunity, a sponsorship opportunity, or any things of that nature? And I'll put that question to you too, Joe, after Scott opines.
Yeah, look, what I would say is we think about our sports betting strategy is kind of 5 key pillars, and the first 2 are by in a way the most important, which is integrity and which is responsible gaming. And we have an integrity partnership with Genius Sports. We have done a responsible gaming initiative with the AGA around their Have a Game Plan campaign. Same with the National Center for Problem Gambling. And so anytime we're doing things like the betcast and the content standpoint, we're very cognizant to make sure we're integrating that messaging for our fans to make sure they come in and set limits. And if they develop a problem, they have messaging that will direct them to the right places. And I would say the same for our stakeholders, right? So making sure that we have, again, the integrity program across all of our stakeholders. You mentioned the Bryson sponsorship with DraftKings. Part of what our goal here is having our stakeholders participate in relevant ways. And if you start to see more operators on sleeves and hats, on tournament names, with hospitality areas in targeted states where sports betting is legal, that means it's working. That means we're seeing more people come in through the funnel of golf over their platform. So, continue to look at all of it, but have been encouraged with what we've seen from the operators.
Final thought, Joe?
Yeah, so just like with Scott and the tour, integrity for NASCAR is first and foremost, and even before sports betting, right? Integrity with NASCAR, with our rule book. And rule books not only for the drivers, but for our pit crew, for NASCAR employees, NASCAR officials. We all follow the same rules, right? So with sports betting, it's the same thing. It's implementing, it's developing a rule book and enforcing those rules if they are broken. And our drivers are encouraged to go out. Our racing teams are encouraged to go out and do partnerships with betting operators if they're approached by them. There's great opportunity, and you've seen it this year so far with a couple of different partnerships that have happened. So we are in lockstep with our drivers. They know our messaging, and it's another great opportunity for our drivers to get involved in promoting the brand, and then for the brand to promote the sport.
All right, Patrick, by the way, I think you were searching for Charlie Hoffman and his locks.
Yes, thank you. And
you got it.
Here's my Venmo if you want to send me a little remuneration. I know you'll have a record of that.
You got absolutely. Thank you so much. Patrick pulled double duty, so we do appreciate it. Thanks so much. Oh, Eben popped on. He did half duty, so I think we'll have Eben send it over.
Thanks,
Scott, Joe.
See you guys.
Scott, Joe, thank you so much for taking part. We really do appreciate it. On the grand scale, we want to thank Genius Sports and Proskauer for helping us put on this event, and remind everybody to tune into the next Sportico Live. That is April 27th, where we take a look at our MLB valuations. Confirmed to attend thus far, we have the Commissioner of Baseball, Rob Manfred, the head of the Players Association, Tony Clark, Randy Levine, the president of the New York Yankees, Stan Kasten, CEO of the LA Dodgers, Sam Kennedy, part owner and president of the Boston Red Sox, and, of course, Alex Rodriguez. Thank you very much, Eben. Appreciate all the input. Please join us for the next baseball event. Thanks again.